There you are. I thought I would talk about the Sontarans. Now, as far as I'm aware, they've only come back for one story in the modern series. The Sontaran Strategy and the Poison Sky. If that's the correct way around, I'm not sure. But in the original series, they were in 4 stories. Kicking it off with the Time Warrior, which I remember seeing as a child. My grandfather sort of got me into Doctor Who. He put me down in front of the Sea Devils, as I pointed out a previous time. And the Time Warrior was the last story of John Pertwee's... Not the last story. It was the first story of John Pertwee's last season. And it introduced the warrior race, the Sontarans, of course. And it's also introduced the companion Sarah Jane Smith, played by Elizabeth Sladen. And at this time, they were starting to sort of phase out unit bit by bit, so only the Brigadier appeared in this story. Mike Yates and Sergeant Benson popped up during the season, but by this stage, Yates had been dismissed from unit. No, he hadn't. No, he hadn't. No, he was on the way to being dismissed from unit. It was the next story, Revenge of the Dinosaurs, where he behaved oddly enough to be kicked out of the regiment. And in this story, the Time Warrior, he didn't appear. But the Sontarans appeared in Tom Baker's first season the following year, in the Sontaran experiment. And by this time, the Doctor was joined also by Harry Sullivan alongside Sarah Jane Smith. Now, Sarah Jane Smith mistakenly thought that the Sontaran Steyr was the Sontaran Lynx from her earlier story, although as he died, it seemed a bit strange to think it was the same character. Anyway, a few years went by, and Leela replaced Sarah Jane Smith, and the Doctor went to Gallifrey and encountered the Sontarans yet again. And they had sort of put the Gallifreyans in jeopardy. And the final time they appeared in the classic series was in The Two Doctors. And for this, Patrick Troughton returned alongside Jamie McCrimmon. And this was a 6th Doctor story. And the 6th Doctor was joined by his companion Perry. The main adversary in this story was played by Jacqueline Pearce, most famously appearing in Blake 7 as Servalan. So altogether, that was Troughton, Pertwee, Baker, and Baker had met the Sontarans. Peter Davison never met them, did he? And neither did Sylvester McCoy. And come to that, neither did William Hartnell. So 4 Doctors from the original run met the Sontarans, and 1 from the modern run. Yeah, I recently picked up some figures of the Sontarans, both from the Time Warrior and the Sontaran Experiment, and they come with a figure of Harry Sullivan. And I must say that the 2 characters, Steyr and Lynx, were played by the same actor, Kevin Lindsay, who sadly died after his 2nd appearance, which probably put paid to the Sontarans appearing for a 3rd season in a row. By the time they appeared in the Invasion of Time, Ringo from Never the Twain was the head Sontaran, and I think it was in I might be mistaken, but I'm sure one of the Sontarans in The Two Doctors played a significant character in Tom Baker's last season, I think. I can't remember exactly. Yeah, I just can't remember. But I don't think the actor had appeared before anyway. But my favourite story has to be The Time Warrior, and then probably, I think as the stories come, really. Although it was good to see Patrick Troughton alongside Colin Baker, as Colin Baker had been best man at Patrick Troughton's son David's wedding back in the 60s. I think it was 60s or early 70s. And most people, or most doctors, have sort of said Patrick Troughton was their favourite Doctor Who. And I think I probably sort of lean towards John Poe as my favourite, and then Patrick Troughton my second favourite. And they always used to sort of have bands together at the conventions. Sadly missed the two of them. Anyway, that's it for my Sontaran review. See you soon.